What is it really like to work at a Big Four audit firm in London? Woo! Okay, cool. So if you're new to this, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. If you're not new to this is a continuation of my journey within finance in London in loads of different roles. Today, we're going to be focusing on when I started at Deloitte. So as I mentioned, I was doing my ACA at RSM, and halfway through, essentially less than halfway through, I got contacted via LinkedIn by an interim recruiter at Deloitte, and I interviewed for a position, an assistant manager position, which was above my experience at that point in time, and it was for audit and specifically within banking and capital markets. Now, in Deloitte, if you work outside of London, it's less specific, sector specific. Once you come into London, they make it more sectorized, all the audit teams. So for instance, within financial services, there was literally IMPE, which is investment management and private equity, and then there was banking and capital markets as well. There might have been some others, I can't remember. You also have like a consumer team, you have like, I think like FTSE team, which is basically just like public companies. So yeah, it's all different sectors. I know people were like in the Birmingham office and they didn't have this, so that's why I'm just putting it out there. If you are looking to go to London, it's more sectorized. Now, one thing I want to point out is I wanted to do BCM just because my end goal was get into investment banking, right? So I thought this might give me a good insight into that. One thing I want to say is banking and capital markets, I don't want to say like 100%, but I think it is one of the sort of longest hours you're going to do in terms of sector. So if you don't want to do long hours, don't do banking and capital markets, essentially. But yeah, it's a big team. And so I don't know if anyone knows how Deloitte, this is how it used to be anyway in London. Now I know there's only 2 buildings, but essentially there were 4 buildings all next to each other. It's right next to the Goldman Sachs office in London, near Farringdon. So we used to be in one called Hill House. That was the audit building. I'll be honest, from outside it looks crap, especially when you see the new 1 Newgate Street, or whatever it's called, 1 Newgate Square, like the brand spanking new one. It pales in comparison to that. However, inside, I had no issue with it. It was actually a really nice building, I'll be honest with you. Lots of people give it grief. It had everything you needed, and the meeting rooms were all new, and it was hot desking. So one thing I really liked about Deloitte's hot desking, I know this is a bit weird, but they had a specific clean desk policy. A lot of companies try to implement a clean desk policy but don't actually do it. So Deloitte was like, if you leave your stuff there and we see you're away for like more than half an hour or an hour post 8 p.m, we're just going to remove everything from your desk and you have to come to us to collect it. And I think that's really cool, just because it make sure that no one leaves clutter. So it was literally hot desking, like where this desks are clean, and I really like that. And yeah, it was a really nice place to be. As part of that building, Hill House, you actually had a post room, which was, for the ACA, undervalued. So the post room's open 24/7, and essentially you can go there. It's used for a couple of reasons. One is to post stuff. So if you want to post anything, you can go there and do it, basically free. But also I used it a lot for deliveries. So if I knew that I wasn't going to be home, like whatever, on that day, and I had someone from Amazon come in, I'd just get it delivered to work, and I just get an email saying, hey, your delivery's here to pick up. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then you can just go like whenever you're there in the next week or so, like just go whenever you're available and just go collect it. Super convenient. The other thing for the ACA is there are a lot of exams like later on down the line, not your first 6, but your professional levels and your advanced level exams, where some of them you can take in notes and whatever you want, like open book. So where I wanted to take in notes and stuff, I didn't want to take in my A4 binder because it's just long and heavy. I'd basically give them my notes and say, can you print and bind this, like scan and bind it and make it into like A5. So I'd literally go from having a heavy A4 binder into like this really sleek like little book, and I'd just have that, and then have all my handwritten notes in, just smaller and stuff. Everything, honestly, it was amazing. I love that. Like, yeah, someone told me they did it, and I just started doing it for all my exams. So yeah, that was really, really useful. Deloitte also have a partnership with Nuffield Health, so there's a gym on site. It's a really nice gym, actually. The only bad thing is the hours. It's like over till 6 till 9, I think it was, which I'd hope it was longer than that, and it wasn't open on weekends. But if you pay, like, I think it's like discounted membership, so I think it's like 25. It used to be 25 quid. I don't know what it is now. And yeah, so you get a lot of perks with Deloitte. The new building, I think it's 1 Newgate. Yeah, it's amazing. I'll be real. So you just look, I'm pretentious as hell when it comes to offices in general. So for me, like, yeah, I was like, oh, I love this place. Smart lifts, I love smart lifts. I actually had my first interview in that building. Actually, both my interviews in that building. So there's like a client bit on the right hand side, and they have like client meeting rooms there. So that's really nice as well, like really nicely thought out. So that's where I had my first, well, all of my interviews. But yeah, the actual building itself, so there is obviously loads of floors. The ones to look out for is, I think it's floor 6 or 7, which is the canteen. Now the canteen is amazing. Like the food is really nice. There's a lot of, they've almost made it as like almost like food market-y. So there's like little stations that do different types of food, which is cool. Like you can get a fresh pizza made there. There's like sushi. There's a salad bar. There's loads of different like stations. They have like 5 or 6, and then every day they rotate some as well. The only thing is, it's not subsidized. Like it's actually fairly expensive. Like I used to get, a few times I went there, I got a salad, and they do it on weight, and I ended up paying like 13 quid for a salad, which I was like, wow, that's insane. So yeah, that's something to definitely take note of. The other floor is floor 12. I think it's floor 12. Floor 12 is basically the coolest floor ever. I know a lot of big companies have this, but yeah, I was like, wow, this is sick. So you go onto there, first thing you notice, you turn left, and there are 3 or 4 PlayStations? Yeah. So if you want to come out, like it's basically a chill, like fun floor. So there's 3 or 4 PlayStations playing. Like got like FIFA on there, and then there's like loads of like bean bags and stuff that you can just sit on and whatever, just chat with your colleagues there. There's also table football, table tennis, pool, and there's also the doors open onto a balcony as well. So there's a walk around balcony, and you're looking like obviously 12th floor into the city. It's really cool views. There's also a room which I don't know what the actual room is. It's meant to be like a Zen sort of relaxation room. You're meant to have no electronics when you go in there, but people used to do it, and it used to annoy me, to be honest. Essentially, it's got like these like long like chairs that you can just lie down on, and it just smells peaceful as well. It's just peaceful. When I used to revise from ACA on weekends, I used to do a power nap in there for like half an hour and then go back to my desk. It's like absolutely insane. So that's the best floor. I'll be honest, I didn't use it near it. Like I don't think anyone uses it that much, to be honest with you, because you're actually working. But it's just there, and it's really nice to have. There's also like this open theatre where you can have like open presentations. So it's like dual floor open theatre, and I think that's really cool. Then floor 13 or 14 is like the client floor. So there's a really nice restaurant there. I never got to go there, but it's like where Deloitte entertain their clients. Like super nice rooms, and yeah, super fancy restaurant there. I wish I got to go there. One day I will. But yeah, that was super cool as well. But yeah, that's Deloitte as a nutshell. So there was 4 buildings. So there, like I said, there was Hill House, there was this new one, and then there was the old new one, which was 2 Newgate Square, and then there was this other small one, which I don't really know what was there, but basically after COVID, they actually decided to sell the small one first, and then they sold Hill House because they realised with like hybrid working, people work from home and stuff, we don't need that many desks. So they've only got basically the 2 newest ones left, and there's 2 bridges in between them as well. It's kind of cool, so they're actually connected. I've still got friends who work at Deloitte, and they said it's actually insane, like in terms of trying to get a desk now. Like, so maybe they need to, I don't know, buy something else. But yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell. One thing I really like as well, just because I'm a tech nerd, they've implemented this system in the new building where when you walk onto the floor, there's a big plasma TV. And what it does, it shows you which desks are available or not. So I think it's using sensors above every single desk to see if someone's sitting there. So it'll show like green if it's available, orange if someone's sort of sitting there but they've not been there for a while, or red if it's occupied. Instead of having to search like, look around where is there like free number of desks or whatever. If you're working as a team, you can just be like, this is free, let's go sit there, boom. I think that's really convenient, to be honest with you. So that's cool. And yeah, like I really wanted to work for a big 4 company. It was one of my goals in life. I know, look, everyone has different goals, right? It was just on my bucket list, low key, because my cousin worked there, and I used to apply every year and I never got through for one reason or another, and I finally got there. So for me, this was like, oh, this is sick. Now, let's get back to actual audit and stuff. So I was put on a big investment bank, international investment bank, as my main audit client. And everyone knows that audit fees aren't great. They've got better now, but what that means is that resource is lacking, so that means you do longer hours. So we were based in the city, so in Moorgate. And this is what is a bit annoying about audit, is if you have a big client, and you're there for most of the year, like we were there for like 9-10 months of the year, you're literally almost like their employee. Like we'd literally be at their office. I didn't feel like a Deloitte employee at all, apart from the few times I used to go back to the office or whatever. And that's one thing I didn't really like. Like we would, I mean, they had a nice office as well, but it's just like, I don't feel like a Deloitte employee. So yeah, we used to do audit there, and you get dinners if you work past 7. You could get cabs home if you wanted as well, which is good. But yeah, like people talk about busy seasons and stuff. Now, this client had a year end 31st of December. So people are like, oh, so your busy seasons is a standard one, which is like Jan to March. No. The difference is when you have a lean team as well. So you have to do all your controls testing first before you get into year-end audit. So I would say I was working late, literally from November, and we had to sign the group audit by the end of Feb. So that was really busy period all throughout then. Then would have to do some subsidiaries as well. I remember I did a new subsidiary, and there was one year where I was working late pretty much, and this was the COVID year, from November till May. Like I'd say when I was talking about late, I started like 9ish, which is fine, but I'd finish at like midnight. Not every day, but like minimum I would say like would be like 8-9ish. That would be like a decent day, but like it could go midnight and it could go early hours in the morning. So yeah, like just be prepared for that if you want to get into banking and capital markets. It's not for everyone, and obviously trying to juggle that with ACA can be quite annoying. At the end of the day, like they want you to pass the exams. So if you feel like you're getting a lot of work and you're not being able to revise, you need to pipe up and say it. Another thing is basically the seniors, so your partners and directors and whatnot, are marked on like recovery, like how many hours were charged to this client and by everyone in the team, and how much money were we able to make from it. So essentially they want you to book the least hours to this client and be as efficient as possible, because it makes them look better. Some partners are okay, like they don't really care that much about that, but I think it affects their performance. So we had it where I've been on clients where a manager once told me, oh, can you just put like you did like 2 hours instead of 6 on this? I was like, no. I was like, I literally did 6. And as a junior, when you're doing the ACA, you get told by ICAW as part of your process that you should be truthful, and if a manager asks you to do something like that, don't. So I literally always used to stick with it. I've said, no, I literally did these hours. I was working these hours. Like if I was DOSing and stuff, yeah, I get it. But I wasn't. So I was like, these are my hours. Because at the end of the day, these contribute towards your professional hours within that role, which you need to get chartered. So if you've passed every exam, but you've not got the hours, you can't be a chartered accountant. So at the end of the day, it's going towards you. Like you have something to gain here as well. But yeah, all in all, it was quite a long experience. I had the one main client like that, and then I had a summer client, and then I had this small client, which this was the maddest thing. So I got given this client prior to me actually being part qualified, because I just joined in January, and in February they were like, it was literally just before I got my results, they were like, we're gonna give you a client where basically it's a dormant client, so not much work on it, but do you want to lead it? And I was like, yeah, sure, it makes me look good if I'm leading something and I'm not even part qualified. The guy who was leaving, he was doing it. He was basically like 2 years above me at that point. So he was qualified and stuff, and he'd done it for a year, but he'd done it with a senior manager involved. They were like, yeah, so it's going to be you, it's fine. And you'll have like one junior and you'll have a partner. The partner was the most senior person. Like that partner went on to be the chair of the ICAW like literally a couple of years ago. So this super senior dude. And I was like, yeah, fine, it should be okay. Just sod's law. As soon as I got onto this client, they were like, yeah, so we started trading this year. I was like, great. So now I have to do a full-on audit, and our fee was tiny. And I had a chat with the partner, and the partner was like, yeah, like the fee is so small, like it's not worth my time essentially, but obviously we have to do it. So he was really cool with me and just said, go smash it out. Now, the hardest bit was the junior I got given was I felt sorry for him. He was like a bright start, which is like a school leaver essentially. So he had no clue what he was doing, bless him. I essentially did that whole audit myself. Obviously, I can't just like sign off on my own papers. So I basically got a senior manager who's meant to be like an external reviewer. I said, can you just like sign off on all these stuff? So he basically did more work than he should have, because I was like, I can't sign off on my own work, right? So yeah, that happened, and then we got it signed off in the end. It was all dandy, but it was a stressful experience just because I was juggling that with my main client at the same time. The small client, like they didn't really care about this entity, so it was really weird. Like they had as well that they had like someone who like their financial director, but they cared more about the other entity, so this was like nothing to them. And I feel like, so he neglected this, and he basically put this girl who had done 3 ACA exams in charge of basically everything. And I was like, this is insane. bless her, she didn't even, like, first thing you do, well, what I did, I'd get the closing trial balance from the previous year and the opening trial balance for this year and see that they match. There were so many discrepancies and she had no clue where to start. So I literally had to sit with her for a day and just like balance the trial balance. It was, honestly, I was like, wow, this is going to be hell. Anyway, we got it done in the end. So the thing is, I took it because it was an opportunity, right? And I can say that I've led an audit at a very sort of premature stage in my audit career, but we got it over the line. That's the main thing. And I did it the year after and it was fine. So yeah, look, we managed to get that over the line. The summer audit I had was kind of cool. I did this company. It was basically they're like an exchange sort of thing, and they had the best office like policy, I feel, and this is what I want. So Miram is the company that I co-founded, and I'm hoping it blows, right? And when I get it to blow, I want to do these things for my employees. So they used to provide lunch for every person in the office, and the way they did it, every day at like 10 a.m. no, at like 9 a.m. they'd say you've got an hour to submit your lunch order, and they give you a choice of 2 restaurants, and you've got like 15 quid to spend, and they'd be like, tell us your order. And then at 12:30 loads of individual bags will be put with their names on in the kitchen, and people just collect their lunch. I think that's really nice. Also, their kitchen just had everything in it, man. Like loads of free stuff, like protein bars, everything. I was like, "Yeah, this." I used to just take loads of protein bars, but no, I just really like that office for that reason. So that was a cool client to work on. So yeah, mainly just did banking stuff. Then I did another investment bank in my last year before I left. Not as big investment bank, but it's a mid-market investment bank in the UK and in the US. So that was interesting. But that was all COVID. That one was. So that was a bit. That was a really weird time. Yeah, to do an audit, because with audit you're a professional pain in the ass or arse, and you need to chase people all the time, and it's easy to do that when you're in person. Like you just stand over their shoulder saying, hey, I'll send you an email, can you just get back to me, like we need this ASAP. When it was COVID, literally you'd email them, they won't get back to you. I'd try calling them, they wouldn't answer my calls. What can you do? But yeah, so I did that as a client, and yeah, man, like, look, I think I passed my ACA, which was the main thing. What else was good about it? Like, oh, the Christmas party. So they had, and actually, let me talk about this. They also had a busy season parties as well. So they knew that busy season is a time where people are just super stressed, and they were like, we want to give them a bit of support, whatever it is. So last Friday in January, February, and March, they'd like book a place out and just free food, free drinks, go there. So one was in All-Star Lanes, I remember going. They booked out like the top room in All-Star Lanes in Shoreditch. Then one we had Bounce in Holborn near our office. So we went to Bounce, which is a ping pong place, and they booked out the room on the right. So we just had that all night, free drinks, free food. So like, I liked that. I really liked that. I think it was kind of a nice gesture. And then the Christmas party. So a Christmas party was, I don't think I discussed this at RSM one. I prefer the RSM Christmas party to this one, and I'll tell you the reason why. So they were both done at hotels. RSM was done at a cheaper hotel. That's fine. Like a big function room, black tie events, both of them. So RSM was the whole company doing it. Like it was because it's not a massive company. So it was like 500-600 people in the office. So they'd get like 500-600 people to this like big function room and do like a sit down meal kind of thing. Deloitte, because BCM was like 500-400 people alone, we just did a BCM one. But it was like in a Mayfair hotel, so a bit bougier, black tie. It was really nice. I know people might not be with me on this, but I think it just helps so much. When I was at RSM, they used to do a table plan. And the way they would do it, they'd make sure that there was a partner on each table. And then they'd try and get one person from each different department on the table. So you're not sitting with people that you work with usually. And I think this is really good. It's good for networking, and it ensures that people aren't just like stuck with the same groups. I thought it was a really good idea. The drawbacks of the RSM one were there were free drinks on arrival, which is just Prosecco and whatnot. And throughout the night, the wine on the table was free. So like as much wine as you want. But any other drinks you wanted, so if it was beers, shots, whatever it was, you had to pay for yourself, and it was fairly expensive. So that was RSM. The food wasn't great. It was a 3-course meal, but it wasn't that good, and never usually is at these events. But no, it was actually good. So obviously, like one year I got a partner which was quite stingy, so they didn't want to buy rounds for the table. But then other partners, like I remember one partner just kept buying Jaeger bombs for the table. So yeah, and then you basically, once you've done that bit, you can then go join your friends anyway. So it's kind of like best of both worlds. That's why I really like that. Vibes were immaculate, and afterwards, like I went to a club and stuff with loads of people. Really cool. Now, the other one, now Deloitte's one was slightly different. So you chose who was on your table. You just were like, oh, we want this table. This is who it's going to be. So you're sitting with your friends, which is cool. But at the end of the day, like, it gets very, like, you're not networking. I don't know. I feel like it should be more of a networking thing. Also, Deloitte's policy was everything's free, which is cool. However, they didn't want people to get absolutely smashed. So the policy was you can't get like straight shots and you can't get doubles. Everything is single with mixer. That was their policy, which I think takes away from it, to be honest. They're the main differences. It wasn't as good. RSM was just more fun. I don't know why, but it just was. That's the Christmas parties done, which, yeah, like I said, they were nice to have. I like corporate events like that. I don't like wearing suits on daily basis, but I do like it for special events. And I think doing a black tie event, I think it's just nice personally. So yeah, you have that to look forward to if you're at a big four like Deloitte or whatever. I know other companies like, I think the KPMG, like Natural History Museum, they hired that out for their Christmas party. So companies do it differently and do big and cool things. But yeah, I did my ACA and I knew that I wanted to get into corporate finance, right? So as soon as my ACA was done, for the next 6 to 8 months, I was trying to get a job, whether it was externally or internally. And I was having no luck. At that point, I was thinking, I want to just get into asset management now. Like, I want to focus on my music, because in that period, in COVID, I was focusing on music, and I managed to get my first play on BBC Radio 1 Extra, Radio 1, Asian Network, became a featured artist for a whole week on there, got playlisted. It was great. And I was like, I need to focus more on this. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't go into IB. Maybe it should go back into asset management, but more in an investment kind of role. I tried to do that and there was nothing. So then I was like, let me move internally. This is one tip. Well, there's a few tips I want to give to this, because I think it's harder to move internally right now just because markets aren't great. But you have one advantage if you want to move internally, and that is access to people. So what I would do is look on the internal job board within corporate finance. That's what I wanted to get into. I would look at who the HR person who's posted it. I would get in contact with them and say, who's the hiring manager for this team? They'll give you the hiring manager's name. I would then put an email, write this email. It's pretty standard because I did it a few times, but I changed obviously certain things in it. Just saying, hey, hope you're well. I'm really interested in this role. I know that you're posting, blah, blah, blah. And then I'd tell them a bit about me. So obviously I had a corporate finance master at that point in time and things like that. Is there any way we can just have a quick 15 to 30 minute chat just before I send across my application? Because you're going directly to them and you're internal, you're going to get a response. I got a response. I ended up having chats with these people, and more time it was almost used as a first interview. But what I used to do is take notes throughout that meeting. I'd ask them questions about the team, about what they do, all this stuff. Take notes, and then I would apply internally. And I'd write, I've had a meeting with so-and-so, blah, 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 and it went. Automatically, they put you through for an interview, which is good because you've already done that stage. Sometimes, like I said, I'd bypass the interview and I'd get it. It was weird at Deloitte. It was actually a lot more strenuous than you think to move internally. So the next round was always like a case study, whether that's like a live case study or a case study where you maybe get like a day or two to do it. So yeah, like the types of stuff I applied for this non-performing loans role. So like debt stuff basically. And I had to do a live test on that. So I had to like work out MPVs and things like that. And literally I had someone watching my screen while doing it for an hour, which is quite daunting, but I passed that one, so that was good. I also had a couple where literally I just had to do case studies on, they gave me like a day or two and said, we want to see like your valuation of this. So I had to do like football fields for different companies. I did that. I ended up getting final interviews for, so the non-performing loan one was weird. They said, you passed, but we're going to freeze it for a while. The reason was because that whole team ended up going to Alvarez and Marcel. And then literally, like, this is later down the line, I got a call from someone in that team, a partner, saying, do you want to join our team? I was like, they were like, we know that you passed like 8 months ago. And I was like, no, I'm good, thank you. Anyway, so that was weird. And then there was one that really annoyed me. There was this debt advisory role that I got on with the team. I did well in the tests and whatever. And I think I did really well in the final interview, which was with the partner. And I gave him a sick idea. And he said, I want you to work on that when you join the team. I was like, okay, cool. I never ended up getting the role. So I got to the final two and didn't get it. But I was just annoyed because I was like, I literally gave him an idea and he's probably going to use that idea now. Anyway, what's done is done. And then the team I ended up getting, which I'll go into the next video, UK PLC advisory So it's a corporate finance team focusing just on public companies. So it's like M&A and also, yeah, any like IPOs and stuff they would be working for. And yeah, so we'll leave it there. If you've got any questions, obviously comment down below. I'm open. My DMs and stuff are always open on all my platforms, so please contact me there. Please support our music if you can, although my focus right now is more on Mirum, so please support Mirum as well. That's if you want to, yeah, the search that is the Mirum, so TheMirum.co.uk. That's the website. Go check that out if you need to do something around London and you can't be bothered to sort it out. But yeah, just like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and share if you can, because this isn't going to stop. I want to keep going and helping as many people as I can. That's the ultimate goal. But yeah, I hope you enjoy this one, and we will be back next week. Peace.